Now with this part of the tutorial, we're going to focus on the more robust element of decision making where the decisions are important. But here's just a quick overview just so you can see how it all pulls together. Annie Duke believes that we waste about 6 working weeks on inconsequential decisions. So that's where we're being indecisive and we're taking a long time over unimportant decisions. So that's largely what we're trying to tackle with the decision tool. Other mistakes that we make are making important decisions too rashly, and we need to think more slowly, which is what this section's all about. So we've already covered the tests in the decision tool. So now we're going to focus on, we've decided that the decision is important, and we're going to do some more robust analysis of that. So Annie Duke in her book recommends that we determine the success criteria, we estimate what we think we'd achieve, we'd look at the shocking extremes, and we'd research to consolidate our thinking, and then we'd make a decision. So this is what I'm going to talk you through, and I'm going to use an example. Now within this downloaded template there are 2 tabs, there's example and there's also this template. So this is the template, the nicely formatted one that you can use on a regular basis, but I'm going to talk you through a bit of a rough and ready example first, but just so that you know this is here and available for you to utilise anytime you want. And to summarise, step 1, we'll do the 3 simple tests to determine whether it's an important decision or not. If it's a quick decision, then get on and do it. And then once we've decided that it's a more important decision, we're going to move into this step. So I'll talk you through the example in a minute, but to support the research and rational review process, go to the blog where you can look through the 7 steps, FMEA, avoiding pitfalls, take on board the top tips, etc. And that's all part of this supporting you in this research process. This will make sense in a second when I talk you through the example. So the example that I'm going to use today is one that's based on work that I'm currently doing with NHS England based on menopause. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to pretend that I'm a woman just going through the menopause process. So you'd think if I can use this decision model for this decision, then it probably works for most things. So test number 1. Is this decision that I'm likely to take on menopause and menopause treatment likely to impact on me beyond a week? The answer to that one is a definite yes. So that points us in the direction that this is an important decision. Second test. Are the options equally great? Would I be happy with any of them? Well, from what I know so far, there's sort of 3 options. There's natural remedies and herbal remedies, there's HRT, and there's also doing nothing, just sort of gritting my teeth and being stoic. So they're the 3 options. My knowledge initially is I'm not sure that I would be happy with any of these, or I don't know enough. So the answer to that is probably no and uncertain. So that would suggest that it's an important decision, I don't know enough. So that's pointing us in the direction of rational, I need to do a lot more work on this. The next test is what would be the costs of reversing these decisions. So if I do nothing, the costs of reversal are low. If I go on HRT, the costs of reversal are low, and if I go through natural remedies, they're low. So that would suggest it's not a critical decision in terms of risk and reversal. However, looking at these 3 in totality, it does feel like I do need to look at this in more detail. It's very important. Okay, so these 3 test questions have really got me thinking about this, and I've decided that I do need to be more robust and to think things through more properly. Okay, so then we're moving over to step number 3. I've determined that I'm going to take this more seriously and do more work. Step 3 is then we're going through a robust process. So then what we're going to do is we're going to have an initial gut feeling, and then we're going to review it and evaluate after we've done research on these various topics. So before we even start the initial gut feeling, the first thing we've got to do is determine a success criteria. This is really, really key. So for me, I know now that this menopause period, transition period, could take 10 years. I could have symptoms and implications for 10 years, so it's quite a long period of time. My success criteria is I want to feel normal, I want to live a normal life to an 80% level. I'm happy that there'll be a bit of an impact on me, I'm happy that these symptoms will affect me, but I don't want it to be a major effect, I want it to be only 20%. So I want a normal life at 80% level. That's my success criteria. If I do nothing, I'm feeling quite terrible at the moment. I'm at 33% level of normal life, let's say. My upper level of improvement and feeling good, if I do nothing, is 60%, and my lower level, I think I could get worse, is 20%. So they're the extremes, if you like, the levels that I would feel surprised and shocked if it went above or below these levels from my estimate. If I go down natural remedies, I might improve from 33% to 50%, and if I go on HRT, I might improve up to 90% with the corresponding upper and lower shock levels. Other considerations might be the costs of doing nothing could be really significant if I lose my job, etc. The costs of natural remedies could be £40 a month. The costs of going on HRT on the NHS would be zero. Health-wise, there are other implications according to the different options, but I need to do some research to really understand these. Okay, so there's my initial gut feeling. Then we're going to get into the research and use the support from the blog to talk you through that and how to do that best. And then once you've done that research, go through this process again to evaluate what the best position is. So cutting a long story short, natural remedies don't look as positive with the research, so that's only a slight improvement. HRT is still looking good. Most women don't suffer adverse side effects from going on to HRT. There are some additional health benefits. The health benefits outweigh the health risks. So on the whole, from this analysis, if I was a woman, I would choose to go on HRT to optimise my success criteria, which is to live a normal life, not impact on my work life, etc. So you can see that this structure and this approach really helps you to formulate the best, robust process of thinking through what's important, what's not important. So hopefully this template is something that you can download and use on a regular basis. You can use the decision support tool here. You can get into the detail of the blog to help you think through the research steps, avoid the pitfalls, etc. here. And I really hope that this helps you as much as it does me on my regular decision making processes.